believe. Get these links posted. I'm trying this from my phone again. It got deleted afterwards last time, so I'm hoping that doesn't happen again because that was super annoying. So all my random rants and thoughts are deleted now. Bummer. But that's okay. All right. Link is posted on Twitter. It's harder for me to post things from my laptop here because I'm usually recording on my laptop and then posting on my phone, but figuring it out. I'm really actually excited to watch this game. I wasn't able to really watch the Monday game because of work, so I didn't get to see the first DeAndre Hunter start. So I'm super excited. This will be my first time getting to sit here and watch him in a Cavs uniform. All right, let me see if I can just post. All right. All right, how is everyone doing? How are we feeling? Almost the All-Star break here, so I feel like I should probably do a live stream for something All-Star related, maybe. But almost the All-Star break, like this NBA season is flying. Okay, let's see. Let's cover some topics since quickly since last recording. Super Bowl. I haven't gotten to talk about the Super Bowl really yet. Look, all of my bets pretty much failed for the most part. I think the only one I hit was Jalen Hurts MVP, which I had bet both Jalen and Patrick just to be safe for both sides of the fence. And pretty much every other bet I had was either Chiefs related or Saquon related. So just did not nail that in general. But I'm so happy for the Eagles. Like, honestly, watching their fans celebrating, watching the players. I love Jalen. I think Saquon seems great. I enjoyed the Kendrick halftime as well. I know obviously a lot of people had a lot of feelings on that, but I thought it was great personally. Had a lot of fun watching that. So yeah, all in all, like, wasn't a great game in terms of an actual good football game. Obviously such a blowout, but happy for the Eagles, and the three-peat is done. I think Travis is probably going to retire too. That's kind of the overarching feeling I'm getting from it. I watched New Heights today. He didn't say it. He obviously said he's going to take some time, to think through. But in general, I think feels like he might be done. He definitely took a step back this season, looked a little bit slower, and he's had an amazing career. Like, there's no shame in going out now. So we'll see. I don't know. He's such a competitor, though, that he could be like, no, I can't go out on a Super Bowl loss like this. I don't know. Okay, let's see what we have here in the chat. Hunter not starting. How do I feel about it? Yeah. Look, I think they're going to be kind of jumping around with the starting lineup here. I don't think anything is going to be set in stone for a while as they continue to see between, obviously Strus and him what makes the most sense, what lineup is working best, and it honestly might be opponent dependent, right? They could change that based on whoever the opponent is. So yeah, I'm not reading into it too much at this point in time. Yeah, I am like excited to see him and Ty Jerome hopefully get some good minutes together. I think that'd be fun, and just for obviously they were college teammates together, so pretty cool. I can't believe how bad the Raptors record is. Like, it really feels like they should be better. But maybe in my mind, I always still. The Raptors have been like a consistently good team over the last, I don't know, 10, 15 years. I guess probably more now. Time is flying, but obviously in the LeBron days when LeBron was in Cleveland, the Raptors were always competitive. But yeah, just not their year. But this is in my mind just Evan Mobley's revenge for Scottie Barnes taking Rookie of the Year, which was ridiculous and should have been Evan's award, and I'm still bitter about it. But it's okay because Evan's an all-star now. You think Tom Brady was the real winner, working the NFL retirement spotlight with his interview hosting? Tom Brady seemed giddy on the broadcast of the Super Bowl because he was like, my legacy is still intact, with obviously a lot riding on what Patrick was going to do there. Look, I don't think this totally tarnishes Patrick's legacy. Like, obviously, it was not a great performance, not a great showing. He's had 2 Super Bowls now that have looked pretty bad in both of their losses, but he's 29 years old. Like, he's got a lot of time to play left. He's probably going to be back in the Super Bowl, so I don't think you can totally write the story of his legacy just yet. Who we got the Browns drafting? Currently, I am on the Abdul Carter train. Obviously, there's all of the Miles stuff going on right now, which, look, I don't think the Browns are trading Miles. That is not going to happen. Miles, in terms of his contract, it's just not going to make financial sense for the Browns to move on from him this season. Might be a little bit easier next year or the following year, but this coming season, it's not going to happen. I think they're going to be holding on to him, but regardless of whether they move on from Miles or not, I think it makes sense to start thinking about pass rusher of the future. If Miles is still there, you have Abdul Carter opposite of him, which is just dynamic duo. And if Miles for some reason does end up not being here this coming season, then you are kind of bringing in some NFL ready talent for that defensive line. So that's kind of where I'm at, because I'm not in on either of the top quarterbacks. I don't know. A lot of the rumblings lately have made me a little nervous that maybe the Browns are, but I don't know. We'll see. We will see. But yeah, right now, there's still time. Obviously, we have like 3 months till the NFL draft, but Abdul Carter is my pick. It would be great if, he's just like another Myles Garrett, another generational Hall of Fame talent pass rusher, right? That look, the potential is there. His ceiling is insanely high, so who knows? Who knows? Oh, that's funny. They're showing the 3-point contest from last year, and I forgot Donovan wore the Money Merrill jersey, which is classic. I'm excited for Darius being in the 3-point contest. Well deserved. He's had quite the year shooting. Darius is funny. He is, out of all of the guys, has the most personality. You think Travis Hunter is the pick? I feel like that's been in the rumblings as well. We'll see. DG will win. I hope so. That'd be so fun. The energy of All-Star this year is really giving the energy of All-Star. Is that 3 years ago now when Jarrett and Darius and were both in it in Cleveland? I think I can't even keep track of time anymore, but I don't know. I'm feeling like a similar level of excitement for it, which is fun. Let's see. Has there been any other NFL news in the last week? I guess I talked about most things on my podcast episode. I guess we could talk about Luka. I didn't really get to watch much of that game, but I'm still so confused by it all, honestly. I talked about this on my podcast episode, but I am full conspiracy train on the Luka conversation because it makes literally no sense for the Mavericks to have done this. I know that they're denying that it has anything to do with them wanting to move the team to Vegas, but that is the only thing in my brain that can make sense on why you would do that. You do not give up on a generational talent, top 3, top 5 player in the league and get Anthony Davis, who is constantly injured, in return. That is just so insane to me that the only answer to me is they want to move the team to Vegas. They are tanking because of it, and they don't want to be a competitive team so that they have the ability to pick up and move, because they were in the finals last year. Like, that's what's so crazy about all of this too. It's like, how can you be so close to winning and then just be like, yeah, this formula we got so close on, we're just giving up on? Seems ridiculous to me. Cavs beat Lakers in the finals in 5. Cavs-Lakers finals would break my brain. If we had to play against LeBron James in the finals, I don't think I can handle it. Obviously, I'd be rooting for the Cavs, but that would be a lot. That would be a lot for me. Max Strus. Glad we were able to keep Max Strus around. At one point earlier this season, when Max was coming back from his injury, I had obviously missed the first 2 months of the season. I kind of felt like, okay, maybe if they were to move on from someone in a potential trade, I thought it could have been Max, but he's really, after some time, come into his own this season, and I'm happy we still have him around. You believe Kyrie is going to the Lakers this offseason. That would also break my brain. That would break my brain too. I can't have the two of them wearing the same jersey, not in my city. I can't do that. No. Yeah, I do feel bad for Dallas fans. Like they were literally having a funeral. And that would be me. I would be doing that too. I understand. Ugh, we need Dean Wade back. Things I never thought I'd say. I'm so hard on Dean Wade sometimes. I don't know why. I don't really like the Raptors logo on that court. It's kind of giving Barney. Don't love it. Why do I feel like Darius is going to have a great game tonight? That's just the energy I'm getting. And I'm not complaining. Ooh, Mobley and Jarrett double-doubles. I like that prediction as well. Would also be down for that. I mean, a double-double for them is just like a regular night, you know? Not even so hard for them. I should have bet a first basket. Ooh. Cavs ball? Yeah. A technical? Did they call it technical on Scotty Barnes already? Was that 17 seconds into the game? That's amazing. That is called Evan Mobley's revenge. I hope Evan loved that. I hope he loved that. So funny. Also, I'm glad Austin Carr was back today. I saw they had like, I don't know, suspended him or whatever for his tweet, which is lame. But he's back today, so that's great. Mm. Max? Jared Allen. Attaboy. Ethical basketball from Jared Allen. Mm. Donovan. Perfect. Beautiful. Nice. All right, Max. 4 for 4 from the field so far. Can't miss. I have my lovely Cavs glass here, which is really cute. It was a Great Lakes thing. Loved it. Always love Great Lakes. Okay, Max, have a night. Maybe he heard me hyping him up about how happy I am that he's still around. Oh, if he would have made that. Hit him in the corner. Take it, Max. Oh, come on. He definitely wanted that. Definitely wanted that. Like, I'm sure Scotty Barnes is a fine person, but I just can't ever forgive the voters for that choice, that I just get annoyed when I see him now. And I probably always will. There's just certain players that end up having that impact. Donovan? Oh, that looked crazy. At first, I thought he definitely traveled, but I guess not. You still think this is our best starting 5? Crunch time 5 varies by matchup, but you feel most comfortable with these 5. Yeah, I mean, I think I was saying this earlier too. I think the starting 5 could even also vary based on matchup and, who they're playing. Like, potentially maybe when you're playing Boston, you might want to go a little bigger. I mean, there's probably different things they're going to try and different ways they'll go with it. So we'll have to see. Kenny'll cook something up. The name Kelly Olynyk being mentioned. His legacy will never be forgotten. Max. Oh, okay, Max. Oh my God. Yeah. You better call a timeout. Max Strus is owning you. How embarrassing. Love. Good stuff. Max fan was a Livert fan too. Yeah, I do love Karis. I'm sad about that, but look, you got to give something to get something back. So it was going to have to be that way. And I think out of all the assets that they could choose to move on from, I think it made the most sense. And it was one of the lowest impact options they could have made, was getting rid of the package of George and Karis along with the picks. Yeah, it's tough. And I think, Karis and George are two guys whose minutes really can be replaced by other players, pretty easily, just from what they're able to do. So yeah, definitely hurts when you get attached to these guys because it's a good team and they have a lot of fun together and you can tell how much they like each other, which makes it even harder. I don't know if this is too loud. Oh, you were in the building for the Karras and Donovan 41-point game. That was against Boston, wasn't it? I think it was. I remember that game. I was just thinking the other day about the Donovan 71-point game from 2 years ago and how much of a bummer it was for him that his night was kind of overshadowed with DeMar Hamlin literally dying on the field. Like, it obviously took over every news story, and on any other circumstance, a 71-point NBA game would have been the biggest story, but it's tough timing. Tough timing. I remember I couldn't even focus on watching the Cavs game and what was going on with Donovan because of everything happening in that Bills game. I was just so affected by it. Pretty crazy. But I do have a great t-shirt that has all of the guys with Donovan in the locker room, and Donovan's holding up the paper with 71 on it. So that's a nice memento to have from it. Max with the rebound. Let's get Max a triple-double. Just for fun, why not? Sam? Nope. Nice. Good job, Max. Getting your hand in there. Oh. Max really is just going to be launching them all night because he's feeling himself. Okay, Jarrett with the block. Love a Jared Allen block. Sam. Money. Money Merrill. Money Merrill. Good stuff. Oh, we already have 5 made threes. And there's basically 6 minutes left in the first. Love that. All right, come on, Darius. Attaboy, Darius. Spreading the love, getting everyone involved. Look at that. Is that Jalen Tyson running to go in? I think that was him. They've really been working on integrating Jalen Tyson into the lineups a little bit earlier in the game rather than having him just be solely kind of a garbage time type guy. I like it though. I guess they're getting, more comfortable with him and liking what they're seeing. So that's a good sign. Darius. Be really good to have momentum going into the All-Star break here too. Put up some good performances, so we can feel good about that. I was saying the other day, I'm like, the only thing that sucks about both Darius and Evan being in the All-Star game is they don't get to rest more, you know? It's tougher to get that rest time when you're playing. But I'm sure they would take being an All-Star over the rest. It's such a big honor. Yeah, Jalen Tyson definitely does have a lot of hustle. Yeah, but it's just been interesting to see in the last really few weeks that they've started getting him more involved. Before he was just playing basically when Tristan Thompson was in the game, so. Jeez, that was a bad shot. Oh, Donovan? Oh, that would have been a crazy basket if the way he kind of turned that ball there would have been nice. It's pretty wild. We're 5.5 games up on the Celtics right now, and then 8 games up on the Knicks. Crazy. Oh, Evan with the block. Attaboy, Hunter. Does DeAndre Hunter have like a cool nickname? Does anyone know? I don't know what to call him specifically. I feel like he's got to have something good. Sorry about that. Let's see, I'm going to Google DeAndre Hunter nicknames, see if anything comes up. DeAndre Hunter doesn't have a nickname that's commonly used. That is what the result was. Okay, I feel like we're going to have to work on that then as Cavs fans. We're going to have to come up with something for him. He deserves to have a nickname. Yeah. Not really anything coming up. I wonder what his feeling was when he got traded to the Cavs. Like, he was probably so pumped because Atlanta's been meh. So to have the chance to go to a team that's like actually in the conversation, that's got to be such a good feeling. I'm sure he was pumped. Optimus. I like that. I think we should bring that back for him. Sounds good to me. Yeah, I pictured DeAndre Hunter having a similar reaction to how they described when Donovan got traded to the Cavs and he was at a golf course and they told him and he was like wanted to make sure that they kept the main guys, that they didn't have to give up anyone too important in the trade, and when he heard that was the case, he was like screaming and cheering. I hope that's what DeAndre Hunter was doing too, because he should be honored. He's on a great team now and is going to have some fun. DeAndre Hunter Gatherer. I love that. That's a great one. I appreciate that one. Mm. Oh my God, they can't make anything. This is ugly from the Raptors. Let's see. Good job, Jalen Tyson. Kevin Garnett and Matt Barnes said Andre Hunter was the steal of the deadline. Good 5 minutes on YouTube. I will have to look that up because I love when people are positively commenting on the Cavs. I feel like people in general had been very positive about this trade across the national media landscape, which is nice to see because we don't always get the respect we deserve. Good for Jalen Tyson. I mean, the Raptors have 13 points. Are they not embarrassed? That's crazy. Oh, is that a DeAndre Hunter block? Love that. Love that. Let's get everybody blocking. Mm. Okay, I was literally, before that shot happened, I was going to say, let's get a Sam Merrill three. And I know that's like, of course you were going to say that. It just happened. But I swear I was going to say it. 41-15. My God. No, there should be a mercy rule. Like, this is embarrassing for them. Oh, just keep passing the ball. Everyone. Oh my God, these shots are so bad too. They're not even good shots. Like, they're bouncing off of like the side of the basket. Oh, okay. Donovan following suit there with the air ball. Did that get tipped or was that truly an air ball? That was bad. That was rough. Sam? Ah. DeAndre Hunter does seem like he likes to get a little chippy with the refs here and there. But we need a little more of that, you know? We need some of that energy. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. Or maybe he's just nervous and he wants to impress his new teammates. All right. 24-point differential to start the first quarter. Crazy. Let me pull up the box score because I haven't been looking at that while we're watching. Jarrett Allen's stat line is just 222 right now. Max Strus, 12 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Sam Merrill's got 9 points. Strus and Merrill, the leading scorers so far, just as we all predicted. That's the beauty of this Cavs team, though. It can be a different guy on any given night. Doesn't have to be Donovan every time, like it used to be. It's a beautiful thing. I have been thoroughly enjoying all of the Eagles media content, just making the rounds on all the different shows and stuff. The fact that Jalen Hurts is 24/7, just like unfazed by everything, is so funny to watch. Like to watch him on like Jimmy Fallon just being like, yeah, cool. It's like, Jalen, do you have any other thoughts? Do you want to show any excitement here? But you know, that's just how he is and how he operates. It's just so funny to watch all these clips of him. Just kind of like, he looks like he doesn't necessarily he just wants to play ball, you know. He's not a guy who needs to be getting all the flash. He wants to win Super Bowls, I guess. Philly's Corey Kluber. That's a great description. Corey Kluber does have similar energy in that regard. Although it was so funny after I think it was the NFC Championship game, or maybe the divisional round. I can't remember which one, but he was definitely, I think they gave him some sort of pain meds or something in the game, and he was so chatty with the reporter after the game. Everyone's like, "Is Jalen okay?" He's not acting like himself. And it was one of my favorite clips ever. He was like giggling and laughing, and it was a tell that something else was at play there. You like the Raptors court. You know, I do like when teams go like old school. I do appreciate that. Something about their logo still just gives me Barney, and I just struggle with that. So did they really suspend Austin Carr for like 1 or 2 games? Like he hasn't been gone that long. I guess so. That was kind of weird. Oh, Evan getting his own rebound and back up. Thank you, Evan. See, these are nice when you have these games where we're up by a lot really early because they can just really try out some different lineups, get some other guys some rest, get some guys who typically don't get a ton of time, some more minutes. And that's what they need right now. I think everyone's tired, so. There's this assistant coach on the Cavs that every time I look at him, I think he's Mike McDaniel. I know he's not, but he looks very similar to him. I don't know what his role is, what his job is, but he's always on the Cavs bench, and I always am like, Mike McDaniel. Okay, Scotty. Scotty has such a distinct way of running. I don't really know how to describe it. Donovan? Nope. Nice job, Hunter. Was that Hunter getting up there? Evan. Attaboy. Attaboy. What about for DeAndre Hunter's nickname? What about D Hunt? Or is that too much to say? I'm just workshopping here. Definitely not. We don't like that. Okay. Okay, I'll keep working on it. Come on, Donovan. Good stuff. Wow, we have double their points right now, 50 to 25. Way to get a hand in there. What do we think of the new NBA All-Star format that they're trying out this year? I feel like they've continuously evolved for the last, I don't know, maybe decade at this point, honestly, on how they do the NBA All-Star game. And I appreciate trying to change things up, but I kind of just want them to go back to East-West. Like just the classic, here's the best players in the East, here's the best players in the West. The two will face off against each other. So I feel like we've kind of, I mean, we have very much gotten away from that at this point. And look, I get trying to like truly get the best players, and sometimes there's an imbalance in the East and the West in terms of the talent available. But I kind of loved the classic standoff between the two conferences. Okay, Craig. An interworld 4-team tournament. Interesting. Explain more. I don't watch much NHL. US versus Sweden and Canada versus Finland, a tournament. And that is like the replacement for them for their All-Star. It's interesting. I mean, I guess that's so specific to NHL, you know. I like the creativity, but oh, Sam Merrill again. He's got 11 points now. Oh, another block. Yeah, I mean, the lack of defense played in the All-Star game, I think, is always going to be an issue because there's no incentive to play tougher defense. I think the MLB is actually, out of all the things that I think the MLB does wrong, I think they do their All-Star week very well. And I feel like maybe the NBA could take some notes from that. The NFL's is obviously the worst with the Pro Bowl, but I think with the physicality of the NFL, they're just never going to be able to find a good solution in the NFL for what they can do for the Pro Bowl. It's more so, I feel like, for that, just about the honor of making it. But there's just too much of a risk for the players if they were to like actually do something all out. Jarrett rebound. Wide open. Oh, I thought he was going to miss it. That looked like a weird shot. It's fine. On the field, yeah. Don't let them get it within 20 at all, please. That's when things start getting crazy. Let's see. Evan's stat line is kind of funny right now. 4 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds. Just even keel, even keel. Sam Merrill with 14 points, Max Strus with 12. Love it. Yeah, the bench is going to be the stars for today for sure. I've really been thinking a lot more about this whole Miles trade request lately and just, I don't know, just like players' legacy in general within sports. And I think I talked about this on my last podcast episode. I talked about this with Quincy on the OBR, and he brought up some interesting points that I feel like have been really sticking with me on just what players' legacies, are, and especially for the greats, someone like Myles Garrett, who is a shoo-in to be a Hall of Famer. It can really affect you if you do leave the city that you're in and don't find success elsewhere, just on what your lasting legacy is going to be. Like, there is something to be said for staying in the same place and winning in that place and being a part of that city long term. Like, we use the example of Kevin Durant as, someone who has bounced around a ton. He was able to get rings, but like, what does that even mean if you are bouncing around so much and you aren't kind of the face of that franchise? Like, his ring in Golden State is always going to be about Steph, about Clay, and about Draymond. Like, that is always going to be the case. And like, is that worth it, or would it have been more worth it if he continued to grind where he was and find a way to win there? I just think it's something that maybe more players should think about, because it's not a given that if you leave the team that you're on and you go somewhere else to a team that's contending, that team is even going to win. Like, I also gave the example of, like, okay, let's say Myles Garrett went to the Bills. The Bills might not ever even make it to a Super Bowl, And like, is that worth it to change your legacy in that way? Oh, they're talking about the rosters for NBA All-Star. Evan and Darius on the same team, Donovan on another team. LeBron is not on either of their teams, which is kind of a bummer, because I would like to fantasize about LeBron playing with them. But yeah, just something to think about with players' legacy. I feel like it's an interesting conversation. And look, I can understand too why younger players in the league maybe don't have that thought process. Like, you kind of, your career is going to be short when you play a professional sport, right? There's just not much time, and you want to maximize the time that you have and get the most out of it. And when you're a competitor, winning is so important, and it's hard to kind of have that future perspective on what everything means. So I get it. I mean, I even think about, like, when Kyrie left Cleveland and he wanted out, and then years later he kind of gained a little bit more perspective and realized how valuable it was to have LeBron on your team and to not have to be the guy 100%. And those are just things that you can't get perspective on unless you are older and just have experienced more in your career and have gone through the ups and downs. Like, that's how you gain that perspective. So I can understand sometimes why younger players don't get it. But Myles he's not a younger player. I feel like he probably, has spent a lot of time thinking about this. So just things I wonder if he hasn't completely considered. Miss Dunk. Darius. Attaboy. Yeah, with the salary cap stuff, obviously if the Myles trade is coming, it's not happening before. I mean, it's probably not happening before June 1st date. But I don't think it's happening this year at all, because it would put the Browns in such a terrible position financially, when they're already in such a terrible position financially with the Watson contract. They're not in a place to be able to handle figuring out what to do with a Myles Garrett contract. I don't know. I really hope it can get resolved. This was another thing I talked about a lot in my podcast episode about how short everyone's memory is in the NFL, right? Like the Lamar Jackson contract negotiation that happened, I guess 2 years ago now. It felt like there was no turning back. It felt like that was the way the organization was talking about him, what Lamar wanted with the fully guaranteed contract that they weren't going to give him. It just felt like I don't know how these two groups reconcile and get to a better place. And I remember feeling that in the moment. And now he almost won MVP again this year. He won MVP last year. It's all a distant memory. I don't think anyone within the Ravens fan base is thinking about it. It's not even part of the conversation anymore. People's memories are so short in sports. Like, it's what have you done for me lately? So if, I don't know, in 2 months, 3 months, the Browns take a quarterback that maybe Miles can feel a little bit better about, or, they trade for one that, or find a free agent one that Miles can feel good about, and he's like, can get back on track. Like, I think people would have a short memory about it. I just think that's how it works. Even though he's been talking a lot and he's been saying a lot of crazy things, but I have to feel like most situations like that are salvageable. So time will tell. So much is going to hinge on quarterback, which I have no idea what is going to happen. And I don't even know what I think they should do at this point. It's not an ideal year to be really quarterback between the draft and the free agents available. It's a bad time, which sucks. I actually think I could get behind like a later Will Howard pick. I don't know if that's necessarily going to save the Brown situation, and I'm not sure if I feel like that would be the quarterback that they're like, yeah, this is the guy we're gonna develop. Like, I think I could still see them probably taking someone in next year's draft then at quarterback, potentially in the first round, when there's just more talent in that draft. But I don't know. I like Will Howard though. He's a big guy too. Very, very underrated with his size. Seems like a nice kid too. Great move. Mm. Some nice ball handling skills there from Craig Porter. Does not look like a lot of people. That arena is a little bit bleak looking at the moment. A lot of empty seats. People don't do it like we do it in Rocket Mortgage. It's a different environment there. Evan. I was saying this because I went to Madison Square Garden like 2 weeks ago. Like, it was a cool arena, and there's a lot of history there, so obviously that's really cool. But Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse is really like state of the art venue. It is so beautiful, and I don't think we can always understand and appreciate how beautiful it is. It's got such great food and drinks too. Like it's a social experience to go to Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. It's awesome. The hockey factor makes sense. As a not hockey girl, I can I'm not always so aware of all of that. Every year I'm like, oh, maybe I'll get into hockey this year, but we only have so many hours in the day. It's a big undertaking to be like, I'm going to take on a completely new sport that I don't already have an interest and investment in. In and out. Do I think the 3 All-Stars sit early? If they continue this lead, yeah. Probably all the starters at that rate. Would be my guess. Can't believe football season's over. I guess we're getting close to baseball, though. Training camp starting up here. Hopefully that means warmer weather, too. I wonder if Max is like, I'm not cutting my hair until after the season's over. He's just really letting it go. Any idea why Mandy Bell got taken away from the tribe coverage on MLB? I do not know. I think she's very talented, though. Oh, she announced it today? I did not see that. I'll have to take a look on Twitter. It is interesting. Yeah, she said she is moving into a role with MLB's youth content department. So I guess just a little change maybe in what she wanted to do. Doesn't seem like hard feelings or anything. But you never know. Well, we've got a Serena interview with Money Merrill going into the half. Oh, that's a fun fact. The number 3, the number 4, and the number 5 pick in the 2019 NBA draft playing tonight. RJ Barrett, DeAndre Hunter, Darius Garland. That's so fun. I love that fact. And then we have the number 3 and number 4 pick for the 2021 draft, Evan Mobley and Scotty Barnes. A lot of guys that have lived up to their draft stock, you know. Trying to remember who I was in on for the I think I wanted Jalen Green that year when the Cavs had that 3rd pick. It wasn't that I like disliked Evan or anything. I should go back and look at what my reasoning was for that. But I'm so glad we have Evan. Couldn't have gone better. Because it was like pretty clear that Cade was going to go 1 in that draft to Detroit. Love it. It's crazy looking at that 2019 draft. I just pulled it up to see who else was in there. Obviously, number 1 pick was Zion. Number 2, Ja. And then it goes into those 3 guys. Tyler Hero was 13 in that draft. Grant Williams, 22. Ty Jerome, 24. Dylan Windler, picked by the Cavs at 26. Jordan Poole, 28. Wow, the Cavs had a lot of picks in this first round because they had the 30th pick too, took Kevin Porter. So they had the 5th pick, the 26th pick, and the 30th pick in the first round of that draft. So interesting. Guess that's what we're going to use our halftime here to do, is look back at different drafts. 2020, Isaac Okoro at pick 5. Yeah, that was when Ant was taken at 1 too. It's a nailing of a first pick for sure. Tyrese Maxey taken at 21. Fun. Oh yeah, 2022 was when we took Ochai Agbaji. In 2023, we had no one because of trading away that pick. Let's go back further. Let's take a look at 2018. Colin Sexton with pick 8. It's when Luka was taken 3rd in that draft. SGA taken at 11. Ugh. Would have liked to have that one. Could have taken SGA. Funny. 30th in that draft was Amari Spellman, who actually, for a brief amount of time, played basketball at my high school. Fun fact. I think he had a little stint on the Warriors. I don't really know where he's at right now, but 2017. Donovan Mitchell taken at pick 13. Jared Allen taken at pick 22. They don't seem like they were taken in the same draft in my brain. That just feels weird to me. Nothing for the Cavs. 2016. That was when Ben Simmons was taken at 1. Jaylen Brown taken at 3. Sabonis at 11. Karras taken at 20. Pascal Siakam at 27. Just going to keep reading these off to you guys. 2015, Karl Anthony Towns with the first pick. That's when Terry Rozier, Cleveland native, was taken at 16. The Cavs drafted Tyus Jones at 24 in the year 2015. Larry Nance Jr. was also taken in that draft at 27. Okay, we'll do one more. We'll go to 2014 and then I'll stop. I really shouldn't have read 2014 because I forgot. This was when we took Andrew Wiggins with the first pick. Embiid, the third, was taken 3rd. Marcus Smart taken at 6. Julius Randle taken at 7. Zach LaVine at 13. Interesting. It's fun to read back at that stuff sometimes. I enjoy that. Oh, we flipped Tyus for Jetty. It was escaping my memory what happened there. Amari was in Russia in 2024 and is in Korea in 2025. Interesting. Well, good for him for continuing to play. I feel like he at least lasted like maybe 2 or so years in the NBA. it seems like other people are liking the Raptors court, so you guys are probably more correct with that. I might be an outlier there. I'm not loving it as much. Oh, that's funny. I just saw the Super Bowl MVP voting that of who got, what votes. So Jalen received 12, Josh Sweat got 4.5, and Cooper DeJean finished with 3.5 Super Bowl MVP votes. What a time for him. 22 years old, pick 6 in the Super Bowl on your birthday. Insane. That's got to be amazing. Just can't imagine being 22 and accomplishing something like that. It's like next level. Mobley's plus minus in this game, plus 19. Sick. Yeah, I do feel like that has to be extra cool that it was against Patrick Mahomes, like really one of the greats, that he was able to have that moment. I still can't get over how scared and unsure Patrick looked throughout that game. Like, no matter what situation the Chiefs have been in, even in games that they have been down in, Mahomes has always looked like pretty unflappable. The only other time I really remember him looking so scattered was the Super Bowl that they lost against Tampa Bay and against Tom Brady. So it was pretty wild to watch him in that state. I feel like we haven't seen him like that in so long, and I thought maybe he didn't have that kind of feeling in him anymore, but I guess when you're down, like, what were they down at the half, like 24-0, you're gonna feel a little scattered, a little less sure of yourself. Yeah, I feel like really the only like really big play that the Chiefs were able to get was that kind of garbage time. It was a really nice pass that Mahomes had to Worthy, I believe. But like it's hard to even count that because it was kind of like the second strings were in for the Philly defense at that point. It wasn't the main guys out there. Still a great pass though, and a great catch. I know part of me did think that they were going to give MVP to someone on the defense. Jalen had a great game, and I think he was definitely deserving of it, but this would have been an opportunity where I think you could have given it to someone on the defense. They were just so dominant. It's crazy. Yeah, the pressure was crazy. It was like on him in a second every time. Oh, good job, Jarrett. Ah. They call that on Jarrett? Lame. It is funny to see everyone doing the Brady stuff, with Mahomes being not able to win with Brady around. The only thing I don't like about that is I don't really want Boston fans and Patriots fans to get to experience joy. They've had enough. Also, I do think they're going too hard with like Mahomes' legacy is completely tarnished because they're afraid that a day will come when people say Mahomes is better than Brady. So this obviously made them very happy, but like I said, Patrick's 29. There is a lot of time in his career left. Good job, Darius. That was awesome. Yeah, see, the thing though with, like, of course, I think KC should probably get some more wide receiver talent. They have dealt with quite a few injuries that have made that really hard as well too, and that you can't always predict, but they did win 2 Super Bowls without Tyreek Hill, so it's hard for me to say that that wasn't the right move for them to make because they still were able to win without him. The Tyreek Hill thing is another example of what I was talking about with people having short memories, because Tyreek Hill already apologized for basically being like, I'm not coming back to Miami. Now he's like, sorry, Tua. I didn't mean it. And like, people will forget, it happens. It's not smart to be doing that, but people move on. You'd rather the Eagles win again next year and not Mahomes. It's fair. I like the Eagles. I enjoyed going to Philly this year, or this past season, and seeing their fans and watching a game there. It was a good experience. Come on, go up by 30. Darius. How many points does he have now? 10? Is that right? I feel like he has more than 10. Interesting. What would I do it to with the Browns pick? Abdul Carter is where I'm at right now. I'm interested to see what the Pats are going to look like this year. Like Drake May showed a lot of promise. You've got Vrabel in the building now. It's going to be interesting. Any Aaron Rodgers thoughts? Um, what is there left to say about Aaron Rodgers? Look, he was bad, so I can't blame the Jets for being like, yeah, you're not coming back here. I mean, I feel like he should retire, but um, that's not going to happen because I think he feels like he's still got a lot left in him. I pray that he does not come to Cleveland. I'm concerned that that could be a potential option, and I don't want that. So we'll see. Rodgers to Minnesota would be really funny if that happened. Probably not going to happen, but would be funny. I'll be waiting to see what the Sam Darnold situation is going to be, especially after the playoffs and I guess the struggles that he had in the playoffs. Kind of what his going rate is going to be for this next contract. A lot of Justin Fields talk lately I've seen from Browns fans. He's one of the only really available free agents, so I wouldn't be surprised to see it. I think the reason he wasn't brought into Cleveland last season had a lot to do with the fact that he shares an agent with Deshaun Watson, and I don't think that at the time the Browns organization wanted to upset Deshaun Watson by bringing in Justin Fields. I don't think the organization currently cares about how they make Deshaun Watson feel. So I think there's a stronger likelihood that they could bring him in. And I wouldn't mind that. Donovan? Nice. Yeah, I think all football fans are diehard Nick Chubb fans. He's just like the epitome of what you want in a football player. Be interesting to see what happens there. I could see him taking like a major hometown discount to stay in Cleveland, but I don't know. Ooh, Darius. You okay? Would be interesting with Justin Fields in kind of the classic Kevin Stefanski offense. Not sure how that would look, but Can't be worse than last season. I mean, it could, but let's hope we don't get worse than 3 wins. Ugh, the Minka Fitzpatrick hit. Don't remind me. That was a terrible day. Like, I know I'm biased as a Cleveland sports fan, but it was dirty. And I mean, he's lucky Nick's able to play again, but in a lot of senses, it did end and ruin his career. Why have they been so bad, in your opinion? Oh, that's such a loaded question. I mean, on the defensive side, I think from year to year, you just see this in the NFL. Defense is so inconsistent. It's just, even if you have a good defense, it's just not going to be the same year to year. There's just a lot more variation you see on the defensive side. I do feel like as the season went on, we actually saw some better performances from the defense than we did earlier on. Those first few weeks, I was like, I don't know what this defense is. It's also hard when, like, I think defense is a lot of like energy and effort, and when the offense is playing so bad, I do think that does have an impact on the defense as a whole. So I'm sure it was a lot more motivating for the defense to play well week after week when they were competitive and Joe Flacco was doing great and the offense was doing amazing. Probably made things a little bit easier for them. So can understand that. I also think there's something to be said for the Jim Schwartz defense, you know, being figured out in some ways, and that does happen with defense. So, yeah, on that side of the ball, it's like it's hard to say because everything is so up and down. But on the offensive side, quarterback obviously being a big factor, but it obviously wasn't just Deshaun Watson because Jameis struggled too, and the run game was pretty bad. The offensive line play struggled. There were a lot of injuries on the offensive line, so that was part of it. But I think, from a talent perspective, some of the older guys have struggled too. So there were just a number of reasons that I think the offense didn't have it. That doesn't mean I think they're so far from being able to fix it. I think a couple key pieces can really change some things, but yeah, it was a lot of things. And number one being the quarterback. Wow. The Cavs have had 26 successful challenges this season, third in the league, behind the Nets and the Knicks. Interesting. I love that. It does feel like Kenny has challenged a lot. I think he trusts his guys. Who is my favorite Cavs player? I always struggle with this question. It's so hard. Maybe Evan, of obviously current Cavs players, maybe Evan. But I really love all of the core four so much. So much. Darius? Something about Evan, I think it also has to do with being like, drafted here, developed here. That's been so fun to watch the last few years. That makes me love him a lot. Mm. Up by 36 is crazy. 90 points with 6 minutes left in the third. The seats are even more cleared out than they were before. It's so bad. Mitchell is the second best Cav ever. Yeah, agreed. I still sometimes can't believe that trade happened. Boo, Scotty Barnes. Boo. He only has 8 points today. It's fine. Oh. DeAndre Hunter. Love our new wing. After me saying, Scotty only has 8 points. Yeah, those Raptors fans are like, it's a weeknight. Our team's not very good. We're out. Oh, wow. Oh, that would have been so sick. Darius. Dang it. That's all right. DeAndre Cav for life, Hunter. Yes. Absolutely. Can't remember a world without him at this point. It's Ochai Abaji, ex-Cavalier. Yeah, I don't even feel like the Hawks felt like he wasn't good enough there. I think they had monetary reasons to need to move on, and we benefited. Yeah, I'm also glad that they didn't do anything and mess with Darius being here. I think a lot of people wanted a trade to happen last season, whether it was Jarrett, whether it was Darius. They were just like, we can't. This group of four isn't working, and I was in that group of people saying a lot of similar things as well, because it just felt like I mean I've talked about this a million times when that Shams article dropped, and there was all of the just kind of bad things being said about players in the organization and JB, and it just felt like we were at a point of things were going to change, and I'm glad that they said, you know what, let's get rid of JB, keep our guys, bring in a new coach, and we believe in them, and clearly that was the right choice. And it's actually really nice to see patience paying off in this league, because there is so much player movement that you don't always see the years where you just have to kind of be patient and have a belief in your guys. Yeah, it is. It's the missing piece they've needed. They haven't had a big wing like this since LeBron. Like, it's really something they've been looking for. And every year at the trade deadline, oh my God, another one. At the trade deadline, it felt like every year we were like, are we going to trade for some type of 3-and-D wing? And we just never got quite the caliber of player that we were hoping for. And this feels like it's it. Loving what I'm seeing tonight, so we'll take it. Ooh, nice little pullback from Donovan there. I liked the move. Yeah, I mean, I think for the fourth quarter, you can probably have the bench out there for the most part. Interesting. I haven't seen that. Hawks fans said they would have rather gotten Okoro in the deal. Interesting. Well, they can't have him. Didn't know Okoro was getting that kind of love and respect from the rest of the league. Hit it. You step out. Yeah. It's all right. I really don't like the Hawks. I think it's because I don't like Trae Young. He might be my least favorite player in the league. He's up there at least. I feel like he has an attitude problem. I don't know. I don't like his energy. Kevin Love was being so funny this year. I saw that comment about Kevin Love in there with his videos on Instagram and everything with the Jimmy Butler stuff. Such an interesting guy. Yeah, I'm glad Kobe was able to keep Jalen Tyson too. I think when you can keep around your young developing talent like that, I think that matters. And obviously with the way they've been using him more, they have a belief in him. Nice, Donovan. Back up to 30. Thank God. It was getting too close. he got blown out by the Celtics. I didn't see that score. Oh, earlier this week, yeah. 103.85. Mobley? Oh, that would have been sick. I like the aggression too there from Tyson. He's a hustler, for sure. Wonder if Abaji has like any connection at all to the Cavs, because he wasn't really here. But I mean, I'm sure he like got to know some of the guys in the organization, but not much. Hit a three, Donovan. Hunter? Oh. No. Stupid. Only a 22-point lead now. Hunter? Ah. Lame. All right. Well, probably don't put the bench in yet then. We'll just need to have them have the starters in for a bit in the fourth here, just to keep things together. Not that I'm worried. You like Hunter, but he doesn't pass much. Yeah, I mean, part of me wonders if Kenny is kind of telling him to shoot right now, like to get into a rhythm with this group. Yeah, I think that's probably a big part of it, just like finding his way. I'm sure he'll pass more as time goes on. All right. Well, since this has mostly been a blowout, I think we're going to call it a little early for the night. But thanks everyone for joining. Hoping to maybe do some type of live, I don't know, for the All-Star game or what, but maybe something for All-Star related conversations. But yeah, then we'll probably have some more after the All-Star break, some more once regular games resume, we'll be back on the live streams. But keep looking out on the channel for other videos, trying to do more short form ones when I just have random thoughts or, a topic I want to discuss that I don't want to wait for. So keep looking there. But thanks, guys, for joining, and everyone have a good night.